Hello, welcome to Mortality with Meep. I'm Meep, also known by the stodgier name of Mary Pat Campbell. I'm a fellow of the Society of Actuaries, so this is their front page currently as of the 1st of February 2024. And I'm going to show you how to navigate to what I'm about to show you. I will put in the show notes a link directly to this Tableau dashboard I'm about to show you. So let's go. I'm just opening, and under different kinds of front pages that it will show you, it might be across the top, it might be in this menu that opens to the side. We're going to the Research Institute, and this may not be obvious to you that what you're looking for, because this is mortality. You may be thinking, oh, I'm going to go into mortality and longevity, and you can get to it this way. But the easiest way to get to it is U.S. population, because this is for the entire U.S. population. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep ending up here. Okay, right, okay, U.S. population. And to get to the most recent update, and yes, the 2022 experience, we have to wait for the finalized data, but the 2022 experience will be coming. We have to wait for the CDC to finalize. And, if you scroll down here, you'll see my name. So I'm one of the people who reviews this dashboard. So we go to the data visualizations. If I click on this, it will open up in Tableau. So tableau.soa.org, it's one of their Tableau dashboards. And so this will open up. We'll wait for it to load. Maybe I'll edit that out. Okay. There are 3 tabs, and a lot of people might miss that and only stay on this default tab. So by sex is the first tab. By socioeconomic group is the second tab. And opioids deaths is the third tab. I want to keep this video short, so I'm not actually going to explain socioeconomic group today. I'm just going to go back to the first tab, by sex, and explain what you see on this tab and the functionality you can get. So the basic view, let's see if I can make it all fit. So I'm hoping this all fits properly. We're going from 1999 to 2021, which is a certain view from, this is all coming from CDC Wonders database. We have female, these are age-adjusted mortality rates or age-adjusted death rates based off of the 2000 population age distribution, okay? So age-adjusted mortality rates are where we take the mortality rates by age grouping, and then we have a standardized weighting that we're going to each year. So the whole idea is so that we're not biased by like the age distribution in each year, because in 1999 the age distributions in the population were a little younger than they are in 2021 because of the boomers. You may have heard of them, though they are dying off in any case. So this is so that we can gauge population mortality trends. So we can see this is the male on the top, female on the bottom, and then we have the overall population age-adjusted mortality. So, the genders, or I should say sexes. You've got to actually distinguish between sex and gender here. This is sex-based, not gender-based. And then we have this cause of death, and I'm not going to talk about the socioeconomic groupings. That's this county quintile thing over here. And then we have 2 tables that are going to be tied to your choices of these pull-down menus above. So this is all causes of death initially. So in general, the all-cause mortality had been decreasing up until about year 2014, and then it kind of went sideways. Okay, I'm not going to explain anything right now. I just want to show you what you can do with this dashboard. If we pick, and I'm going to pick COVID just so that you can see what happens. So if I pick COVID, you will see, of course, that it only has data points for the years 2020 and 2021. Okay, that makes sense. Let's pick something different. Let's pick cancer. Okay. Now, I picked cancer because I knew what it was going to look like. I'm going to pick something stranger in a moment because it looks like almost like a straight line down, and then it kind of levels off during the pandemic. Okay. The reason I picked cancer is so that you can look at these tables to the right here. We have for all ages, and what are these percentages? These percentages have to do with mortality improvement, and that has to do with at what rate per year on average over a certain time period were the mortality rates decreasing. So in general, if we just did what rate was it changing each year, there would be negative signs. So we flipped it to, if it was decreasing, then we have positive. So this is, what's the improvement? This is a negative rate going down, so flipping it. If you see a negative, that means it increased. So you see we split up the time period from 1999 to 2009, from 2009 to 2019, and then we did 2019 to 2021 to isolate specifically kind of the pandemic years. And we also had 2020 to 2021, 2019 to 2020, to break out some of what was going on there. Let me pick the actual top cause of death so you can see something different. You see these big negatives here. That means, of course, the cause of death went up. So from 2019 to 2021, we had an average annual improvement, and we see that there. And these headers are kind of screwed up. We have cumulative improvements, 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 21. So you can see, year to year, what was going on there. Now we have something similar going down here with age groups, and these are supposed to be the same headers. It may not be totally clear, but if you hover your, if you hover the cursor over it, then you will get what this is supposed to be labeled with, and it's quite clear where disimprovement is. And you can see these very big negatives like age 25 to 34, and this is for heart disease. So again, I'm not going to do interpretations right now. This is just so you can see how to use this dashboard. A lot of these are the top causes of death, physiological, and some of these are big categories. So physiological are all the natural causes of death, and that does include COVID. Okay. We have all excluding COVID, so we can remove COVID. You can see what that looks like. We can have what's called external. So external is the opposite of physiological, so that includes homicide, suicide, and accidents. Accidents includes drug overdoses. So then you see accidents excluding opioids. So when we said opioids, so that's drug overdoses due to opioids, and that has its own tab. And you can kind of see that kind of goes up and down. So accidents excluding opioids includes such things as motor vehicle accident deaths and falls. So that does kill quite a few elderly people. And you can see that you have these big negatives for 2019 to 2021 across a wide range of age groups. So lots of increases. So if you see negatives, that's an increase in mortality. And yes, so we have suicide. Again, curve going up. That means mortality is getting worse. And we have negatives. Negatives are bad. Negatives means mortality getting worse. Positives are good. So before the pandemic, suicide rates were increasing for both males and females. And then actually in 2019, it went down, and 2020, and then there was kind of a rebound as well. Again, not interpreting, just telling you what these numbers are, just so that you know what the numbers are. Assault is homicide, yes, and I will just tell you what 2001 is. That's 9/11, if you did not know. Um, so these are all based on rates. So that's why some of these may look different from what you are expecting. And if you look at the vertical scale that's all the way over on the left, it adjusts based on the cause of death. And this maxes out at 18. This is per 100,000 people per year. So that's 18. This is liver. If you look at heart, so heart is the number one cause of death, you'll see that the max number that we're seeing here is 300. And of course, this one starts at 331. So it adjusts. This is how Tableau works. So if you want to explore this data set, when the CDC releases the finalized data for 2022, this will be updated. And again, I'm part of the group of volunteers who reviews the data before it's put in, and is this the appropriate cause of death list? Should there be more or less, that kind of thing, hypertension? So you can see some of these are increasing, some of these are decreasing. You may, it's not biased by what the population is doing in terms of who's old and young. We keep normalizing this. This is an age-adjusted death rate that's going on. So it has nothing to do with what's going on in population statistics that way, just so that you know about that. But maybe you'll want to play around with this, and you'll see some of these had interesting trends before the pandemic and reacted quite strongly in the pandemic. So you might want to think about that. Yes, I'll do my own videos later where I will talk about that. I'm just still waiting for the 2022 finalized data to come in before I do something like that. So I hope that's been helpful. And as you may have seen, this video looks a little different from my prior ones, and I'm hoping with these new AI tools that are out now, it's easier for me to edit videos, and so I will be making more of them. So talk to you all later.